What's going on, Jeromes? Beautiful Tuesday. 5 good Vikings questions firing up. First up is from Ethan E. Planned. With no third-round pick, is it more likely the Vikings trade back from 11 contingent on re-signing Kirk? I think everything depends on the board. Where if they do re-sign Kirk, maybe they put quarterback of the future on the back burner, maybe not. But also, depending on how the top 10 goes, there could be a run on quarterbacks, there could be a run on receivers, there could be a run on tackles, and the Vikings may have their choice of any of the top edge rushers, any of the top cornerbacks, and they may just want to stick and pick. And I do think that it would have to be an offer that is legit, and even moving down in the first round, like I would expect more. Maybe even a second round pick included in there, depending on how much leverage the Vikings have. Say the Vikings re-sign Kirk and 11, there's a lot of teams are interested in Quinion Mitchell, the cornerback from Toledo, or say Dallas Turner from Alabama, or whoever, whichever player, right? Or say Alter Fashanu fall to 11, and teams are really interested to get up to go get him. Now, again, the Vikings have some leverage in that spot, and if the Vikings were okay with moving down and potentially getting an extra second-round pick, would perfectly be down to clown with that. And the Vikings, could still, if they stay in the first round, they could still find their quarterback of the future, whether it be Penix, maybe McCarthy falls, probably not. And second round, Rattler, Pratt, Nix, who knows, man. But I think it is fully contingent on what happens on the board, even if Kirk is back or not. Next up, Carter Hartman. Could the Vikings draft the hometown kid Tyler Nubin to replace Harry, or would getting Antoine Winfield Jr. make more sense? It depends on how much we would have to pay Winfield, I suppose. So Harrison could retire. He could be cut. The Vikings would save around $11.3 million, and Winfield would make a lot of sense. He's already an All-Pro. I think that he would succeed heavily in the Flores scheme. And even though the Vikings have Beasley, they have Metellus, I think that Flores has shown that he likes using multiple safeties. He did it in Miami, he did it in New England, and he's doing it here in Minnesota. So even if Harrison retires, it's not just like, well, Metellus and Beasley are the safeties now. But Nubin will be interesting. Where specifically, if the Vikings do trade down the first round, maybe they go Nubin later on. But although Kwesi will get roasted again, it's like, oh, you traded down and then you drafted another safety. How's that going to work? Yeah, but no, Nubin's going to be fantastic. He's going to be really, really good in the league, man. Like Jesse Bates, the third type safety. Yeah, I like him a lot, man. And he should go in the first round. Mason Large. Could you see a scenario where KOC or Kwesi or both are fired next spring? Even though I have my criticisms of KOC, I feel like Kwesi is more deserving of getting the axe, considering the possibility of Daniil walking out the door for nothing and the mediocre draft classes so far. It seems like his job is banking on success this offseason. Love the channel skull. I think that Kwesi is more on the hot seat than Kevin O'Connell is. And a large part of it has been, I've agreed with the moves of letting go of the veterans like Thielen and Kendricks and Dalvin and Patrick Peterson. So fully in on that. But the problem has been the draft classes. All right, so last year was a little bit better because you got Blackman, you got Addison, and you got Ivan Pace Jr. But 2022 has just been inert, right? And sure, maybe you chalk it up to, well, it's his first draft, and it's the first draft in a new regime. It's going to be tough, but you need some market improvement and some instant contributors in the 2024 class. And, I mean, the Vikings are going to have their crack. Maybe they go quarterback in the future. Maybe Kirk Cousins walks. And I do think that Kwesi being put in a spot where Daniil and Cousins could leave for basically nothing, that's not good. That's not good. I think that could and should be held against them. Kevin O'Connell, 13-4, won some more, win the division in 2022. Last year, I think that injuries are just chalked up to a lot of what happened with the 7-10. Although, a lot of those games late in the season were very winnable with the backups, man. The Bears, the Broncos game is uber frustrating, but yeah. And then, I think that Kwesi has to hit it out of the park this offseason, or there could be some difficult conversations to be had next offseason. Next, Russia J. Jensen. Looking at the Vikings' current situation, would you rather have us take Will Levis with our first-round pick last year? No. No. So the Vikings sticking and picking at 23, taking Jordan Addison, absolute stud. He's going to be a future star in this league. Now, I liked Levis to a degree. I saw the upside there, but the league obviously didn't see him in the top three, or it was a big three, not a big four. So Bryce Young and Richardson and Stroud went. Levis was left behind, and the Titans, who ultimately ended up drafting him in the second round. I mean, they passed on him in the first round, and they took Pete Skoronski out of Northwestern. But I know that Levis had that big 4-touchdown game early, but there's a lot of inconsistency there. I do question his accuracy. Attitude, I don't mind. I know that Levis rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but the cocksure attitude, I think it's fine. It's kind of Jeff George-ish, but Levis does have a strong arm. I just want to see him make more plays in rhythm, and I do question his accuracy, consistent accuracy. So I mean, that's what Kevin O'Connell stresses is his number one thing: consistent accuracy. And Levis, I mean, that's highly questionable. So. The Vikings could have just stuck and picked and took Levis last year. But Addison, Addison's just a dude, man. Yeah, I love Addison. There you go. And if Levis was in this year's draft class, I mean, for me, he probably wouldn't have been quarterback 6 or 7. So for me, it goes Williams, May, Daniels. I'm always going to say Jaden McDaniels because of the Wolves. But Williams, May, Daniels, top 3. McCarthy, 4, not too big of a gap. Slightly large gap, Penix. And then I would put Levis in the mix with Bo Nix and Spencer Rattler and Michael Pratt. That's about where we're at. Next up, speaking of which, Jacob Landgraf. If we trade up to 3 and Daniels and May are both still available, who do you pick? So I don't think that both of them will be available, but just say hypothetically, the Vikings have their choice of Daniels or May. It's really close for me. I would lean May because I think that his floor is a little bit higher than Daniels, but I think both of them have nearly unlimited ceilings. And I know there's been a movement lately to poo-poo on Drake May, but also you could say yes, his 2022 tape is a lot better than his 2023. But I mean, there was a talent loss at North Carolina last year, and May's had a lot of high highs, he's got a lot of low lows. He will take chances, but I think that he is some of the best parts of Josh Allen with mobility. I think he's some of the best parts of Justin Herbert of throwing absolute dimes. And yeah, he does gamble, he does take chances sometimes, and the bad is really bad. But I think that's certainly coachable. And with Daniels, I mean, Daniels, his breakaway speed is unparalleled, and also I love that he focuses on being a passer versus just running. Like, he wants to throw first, but do question his frame, do question like the 1 year of big productivity. Also, I mean, you do have to wonder like how much of that LSU offense, even though LSU didn't win a national title, like this isn't like 2019 LSU, but how much of it was Daniels and how much of it was Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. and the cast of awesome weapons for the Tigers. But again, stylistically, they're two completely different quarterbacks, but I would go slightly May over Daniels. It's really, really close, though. Lastly, so David Villanumero, nailed it. Andy, you're officially part of my dad and I's daily routines. Hey, shout out to Pops. What up? From your daily news dumps to garage rants. I love the show. Thank you. Any vacations or breaks coming up? Signs of slowing down. On behalf of the Jeromes, I hope you keep the party rolling forever. P.S. I also hope you're getting a jelly bean or 2 from your YouTube channel. Yeah, I mean, the YouTube channel is a fun side hustle, and I'm going to keep doing it until it's not fun. That's basically it. But love. So when we started this channel, basically it was sort of the space where we wanted to create content that we would watch. So, short tidbits, in and out, get to the point versus blah, 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 blah for an hour, like most sports talk radio. And then 1877 cars for kids. Yeah. And yeah, we're a little bit offbeat, but also we're just ourselves. We don't try to lean into just being constantly negative, which I understand that's the default of a lot of sports talk radios. Are, oh, why is LeBron? No. So stupid, man. But vacations or breaks. Yeah, we got a number of vacations with the fam coming up this summer. Also, the Great American Road Trip. We're heading out west. That should be a lot of fun. And then the usual stuff, heading up Norte, going to Vegas a couple times, undisclosed locations, a couple birthday trips, and yeah. But signs of slowing down? Nah. I mean, like I said, this is a very fun side hustle. Frankly, I think a lot of times this keeps me sane. And it's there's a lot of work involved, but it's a labor of love, and I love this community. And also, like, when I'm dealing with my health stuff right now, you guys have been very supportive, and it's just amazing, man. But we'll basically just keep doing this until it's not fun. That's what it comes down to, man. But I mean, also, how can you not be excited during free agency and the draft? I mean, come on, babe, let's go. But that's it. That's 6 bonus questions on the day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.